Comment down below where you're watching from and like and subscribe if you hate Karens. Okay, buckle up folks, because you're about to hear a tale that's equal parts infuriating, hilarious, and ultimately, satisfying. This is my Karen vs. Karma story, and trust me, it's a doozy. So, I'm Damon Johnson, and I live in a pretty chill suburban neighborhood in Denver. I'm a software engineer, work from home, and generally keep to myself. I drive a beat-up but reliable old Honda Civic, because honestly, cars are just transportation to me. My neighbor, let's call her Karen, because, well, she was the polar opposite. Karen Peterson, she drove a shiny black Tesla, wore designer everything, and had this permanent air of entitlement about her. The problem started a few months ago. I noticed my electricity bill was getting suspiciously high. I'm talking, did I accidentally leave the grow lights on? High, and I don't even grow anything. I started keeping an eye on things, and that's when I saw it. Around 2 a.m., Karen would casually saunter over to my outside outlet with an extension cord and plug in her Tesla. Now, I'm not a confrontational guy. I believe in talking things out. So, the next morning, I caught her trimming her roses and approached her politely. Hey Karen, I said. I've noticed my electricity bill has been a bit high lately, and I saw you using my outlet to charge your Tesla. Is there a reason for this? Her response? A dismissive wave of her hand. Oh, honey, she drawled. Don't be ridiculous. A little electricity isn't going to break you. Besides, you wouldn't want my beautiful car to be stranded, would you? I was floored. Absolutely floored. I tried to explain that it wasn't about the money, it was the principle. It was stealing. But she just laughed and said, Relax, Darius. Consider it a neighborly service. Darius? Seriously? I let it go, fuming, and walked back inside. Over the next few weeks, it continued. Every night, Karen's Tesla would suck juice from my outlet. I tried everything. I put a lock on the outlet cover. She broke it. I put up a sign that said, Private property, do not use. She ignored it. I even tried talking to her husband, Mark. He just shrugged and said, Karen can be a bit eccentric. I was at my wit's end. That's when I decided on a little technological intervention. Being a software engineer has its perks. I knew a bit about electrical circuits from my days in the garage as a kid. I went to my local hardware store and bought a few components, a capacitor, a resistor, and a relay switch. Over the next few days, I built a little device that would detect when a high current load was being drawn from the outlet. When that happened, it would momentarily discharge the capacitor, sending a short, sharp spike of reverse polarity current through the line. Not enough to cause any serious damage to the car, but enough to trigger a fault code and shut down the charging process. Think of it like a really annoying mosquito bite for her Tesla. Harmless but infuriating. I installed the device late one night. The next morning I waited. Sure enough, around 2:15 a.m., I saw Karen waltzing over with her extension cord. She plugged it in, and nothing. I watched her face light up with confusion, then frustration, then rage. She unplugged and replugged it several times, but the Tesla refused to charge. Finally, she stormed back into her house, muttering to herself. Success! I thought to myself. For the next week, it was glorious. Every night, Karen would try to charge her car, and every night my little device would thwart her efforts. I could practically feel her incandescent rage from across the street. Then, things escalated. One afternoon, I came home to find my front yard covered in trash. Empty soda cans, fast food wrappers, even a soiled diaper. And right there, in the middle of it all, was a note taped to a brick. Stop messing with my car, racial slur! That was it. That was the final straw. I called the police, reported the vandalism and the hate crime, and showed them security camera footage I had installed after the last encounter. They took a report and promised to investigate, but I knew it would take time. I needed a more immediate solution. This is where things get a little chaotic, so hold on tight. I started documenting everything. Every time Karen used my electricity, every interaction, every instance of harassment. I installed more cameras. I consulted with a lawyer. I was building a case, and I was going to make sure she paid for her actions. Then, one evening, my lawyer, Sarah Miller, called me with an idea. "Damon," she said, "I've been looking into Karen Peterson. Turns out, her husband's business is in serious financial trouble. They're on the verge of bankruptcy." An idea sparked in my mind. The next day, I sent an anonymous tip to the local news station. I included all the evidence I had gathered about Karen's electricity theft, the vandalism, and the racist note. I even included a few photos of her Tesla plugged into my outlet. The story blew up. "Suburban Tesla owner accused of stealing electricity and racist harassment," screamed the headlines. Karen became an overnight pariah. Her husband's business partners bailed. Their finances crumbled. And then, the inevitable happened. They lost their house. I know. It sounds harsh. But trust me, this wasn't just about the electricity. It was about the entitlement, the disrespect, the blatant racism. It was about a lifetime of getting away with treating people like they were less than her. Now, here's the twist. A few weeks after the Petersons were evicted, I was volunteering at a local homeless shelter. As I was handing out food, I saw a familiar face in line. It was Karen. She was gaunt, disheveled, and wearing clothes that looked like they'd been salvaged from a dumpster. She didn't recognize me at first. But then our eyes met. Recognition dawned on her face, followed by a wave of shame and something else. Was it regret? I almost felt bad for her. Almost. But then I remembered the racist slur, the harassment, the feeling of being violated in my own home. I simply nodded, handed her a plate of food, and walked away. Karma, as they say, is a dish best served cold. And sometimes it comes with a side of unexpected humility. Update: a lot of people have been asking about what happened to Karen and Mark. From what I've heard through the grapevine, and I'm not actively seeking out this information, mind you, Mark is working odd jobs to try and make ends meet. Karen is, well, let's just say she's learning some hard lessons about life and consequences. I don't wish them any ill will, but I also don't regret what happened. Sometimes, people need to hit rock bottom to realize the error of their ways. Hopefully, this experience will change her for the better. TLDR, racist Karen kept stealing electricity to charge her Tesla, so I installed a circuit that fried her setup. Her actions led to her family's financial ruin, and I ended up serving her food at a homeless shelter. Karma's AB.